Hello Portugal, hello Malta. My name is David and I welcome you to this program. As every week, we're here to take a quick look at the Portuguese news and keep that connection with our beloved country. On the agenda today, an armada enters the government. You've probably already seen these pictures. A famous Portuguese photographer has passed away. The two major challenges facing the health system: 1.5 million euros invested in the Algarve to prevent a repeat of the 2009 tragedy. And to finish, 3 pieces of good news in sport. Let's get started. Opening credits. Don't look back, don't look back, don't look back, you little shit. We don't pass. The breasts, we can't. "16 ministers and an army of secretaries of state." That's it, Portugal has a government following the elections on the 18th of May. Didn't have time to count. That's normal. Brace yourselves, there are 43 secretaries of state. That's 2 more than the previous government under Luis Montenegro, which, by the way, hasn't changed much. We'll look at the details later, but yes, the Portuguese government is actually bigger than the French government, for example. But in Portugal, it goes down smoothly, not a hint of scandal. From what I can see, it's actually quite normal. Whether it's the Socialist Party or the Social Democratic Party, there are always several dozen secretaries of state, and most of them are connected to the ruling party. So they're not independent or apolitical specialists. Right, let's compare that with France, since there are a lot of French people among you, and also because it's not a federation like Belgium or Switzerland, so it's easier for me to do the maths. So in France, the current government has 4 ministers of state, plus 10 ministers, plus 21 ministers attached to other ministers or delegated, which makes a total of 35 positions. In Portugal, there are 16 ministers plus 43 secretaries of state. If you've done the maths, that makes 59 positions. And all of that, of course, costs money. In France, a minister or a delegated minister earns €10,692 gross per month, including allowances. For the Prime Minister, it's €16,000 gross per month, not to mention that they can also claim additional hospitality expenses. In Portugal, for the Prime Minister, when you add together the gross salary and representation expenses, it comes to €8,768. For ministers, the total amount is €7,616 gross. Finally, secretaries of state receive €6,779 gross, including expenses, and after tax they take home just over 50% of these amounts. And of course, beyond that, we mustn't forget that each member of the government brings along their team, with a chief of staff, deputies, advisors, personal secretaries, drivers, and so on. Remember, in total, there are 16 ministers and 43 Portuguese secretaries of state. When you look at the details, you have to be very sharp to understand the difference between certain positions. Let's give it a try. Are you ready? At the Ministry of National Defence, there is a Deputy Secretary of State and for National Defence. And then, you also have a Deputy Secretary of State for National Defence Policy. Didn't you catch the subtle difference? It was simple, really. Come on, second chance. This time, let's go to the Ministry of Justice. There's a Deputy Secretary of State and for Justice, and there's a Secretary of State for Justice. Well, that's certainly a fine kettle of fish. It's like Thompson and Thompson in Tintin. You are under arrest. I would go even further. In the name of the law, you're under arrest. So, why are there so many of them? Why not appoint chiefs of staff or civil servants instead of all these secretaries of state? There are 43 of them. There's a difference in responsibility. A civil servant has more of a technical management role. They must implement decisions while respecting the rules. On the other hand, a Secretary of State is a member of the government. In the hierarchy, they are below the minister, who delegates responsibilities to them to help manage their portfolios. The Secretary of State can also make political decisions and settle matters. They are there to prepare files, projects, coordinate, supervise, and so on. And finally, they are accountable to Parliament. Now, I'm going to put on my critic's hat for a moment. Personally, I get the impression that it's mainly a way to promote friends and keep them close at hand as scapegoats, in case things go wrong. But if you happen to know a Portuguese Secretary of State, and the chances are actually quite high, don't hesitate to ask them, what is the point of all this? He captured the essence of Portuguese life in the net of his photographs. Eduardo Guerreiro has died at the age of 90. During the Carnation Revolution in 1974, he was one of the first photojournalists to arrive in Lisbon to immortalize the fall of the dictatorship. But his career had begun nearly 20 years earlier. Moreover, these photos earned him several arrests by APID, the regime's police. Because under Salazar, you absolutely must not show poverty and hardship. Yet this was one of his favorite subjects. The photographer also traveled the world and received hundreds of awards. I'll put the link to his website in the description so you can discover his work in detail. The Portuguese healthcare system faces two major challenges. First, supplementary work. Hospitals rely on it like a crutch to keep going, but these days it has become more like an essential, yet precarious, wheelchair. What does supplementary work mean? It simply refers to the overtime hours worked by permanent healthcare staff, those with long-term contracts, and the hours worked by the tofajos, who are a bit like freelancers in healthcare and don't have permanent contracts. According to the study by PlanApp, the Centre for Public Policy Planning, which was recently published, this supplementary work increased by 39% between 2018 and 2022. What does that mean? It means that these shifts, which are supposed to be exceptional, are becoming more and more common. And to fill this gap, it will be necessary to hire 14,000 professionals, including 6,000 full-time equivalent doctors, according to PlanApp. These figures have been widely reported by the media in recent days. In its research, the Institute highlights a special case, that of INEM, which is the public emergency system. There, more than a quarter of the work is carried out as overtime or by freelancers. On average, each professional accumulated 428 hours of overtime in 2022. To give you an idea of what that means, that's simply 35 hours of overtime per month. The second major challenge is aging. The Planning Centre highlights one figure. The average age of doctors in the public system exceeds 50 in more than a third of hospitals. According to another study by the Institute, published in 2024, 1 in 4 healthcare workers is over 55 years old. A figure is one thing, but we also need to look at the trend, and it's not a good one. Between 2010 and 2023, the proportion of senior healthcare workers increased by 10%. On the other hand, the proportion of young healthcare workers under 35 has dropped by 10%. In conclusion, the public health system is going to face a wave of retirements in the coming years, and there doesn't seem to be anyone to take over. To wrap up this report, I'd like to make a few comments about the studies from the Planning Centre. They have been widely reported in the media, but they are not perfect. Firstly, the Institute relies solely on data provided by the central administration of the health system. Secondly, the studies are purely quantitative. Healthcare professionals and managers are not given a voice to help understand what lies behind the figures. Thirdly, these figures may be influenced by COVID. We will have to wait for more recent data to confirm them or not. Fourthly, the calculation of hours assumes that every hour of work is worth the same. But is that really the case when working at night, for example? Finally, there is no verification of the quality of care, patient satisfaction rates, and so on. And therefore, there is also no verification of the recording of overtime hours. Are there not errors or irregularities that influence the data? It is 11:30, it's a summer's day, and many families are enjoying the sunshine in the Algarve. Suddenly, a cliff collapses onto Maria Louise Beach in Albufeira. 5 people die, 2 are seriously injured. That was in 2009. The tragedy is one of the most serious of its kind in Portugal. It has remained in the memories of the people of Albufeira, as well as the authorities. This week, the Portuguese Environment Agency announced an investment of €1.5 million to reinforce 1.3 kilometers of coastline in Portimão. In fact, the sand shifts over time and gradually accumulates on Praia da Rocha, while on the beaches of Vão and Três Costelos, the cliffs are eroding. And as the months and years go by, the risk of landslides increases. When the project was announced, all the Portuguese media recalled the 2009 tragedy, which has become a symbol of a very real danger. Classified as a priority, the intervention will take place after the bathing season and should last no more than 210 days. On the sports front, 3 pieces of good news. The first is, of course, Portugal's historic victory over Germany in the Nations League in Munich in the semi-final. The score was 1-2, with goals from Francisco Conceição and Cristiano Ronaldo. Why is it historic? Quite simply because Portugal's last victory over the Manshaft dates back to the year 2000. For 25 years, whether it was with Figo, Rui Costa, Deco, Ronaldo and the rest, we always came up against a wall. Every time, it was the same comment. The Germans imposed their physicality. They're better organised, more clinical. I still remember that defeat at the 2006 World Cup. I think it was actually held in Germany. Against the Manshaft, we lost 3-1 in the playoff for third place. And it stuck with me because it was just 2 years after the failed Euros, the disappointing Portuguese Euros with the final against Greece. Just thinking about it makes me want to stop this show. But anyway, we were saying to ourselves, after the failed Euros, we'll go for the World Cup. We made it to the semi-finals and then, disaster. And then we couldn't even beat Germany for third place. So, a bit gutted, but this time, the tide has turned and Portugal are in the Nations League final. It will take place this Tuesday and it will be against Spain. Second bit of good news, still in football, Portugal are European champions at under-17 level. The young Portuguese beat France 3-0. The third bit of good news comes from motorsport. Ivan Dominguez won the sprint race at the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona. A bit of a feat, as he started in 6th place and quickly managed to get to the front of the pack after just a few corners, and he never let go of that first place. He's the first Portuguese driver to win a World FIA event in Formula 3. In an interview with the newspaper Publico, the Leiria native hopes to have a chance to join F1 within 3 years. Before we go, a quick look at the agenda. On the 23rd of June, it's the highlight of the São João festivities in Porto. The Invicta city celebrates its most venerated saint, but the origins are pagan and correspond to the summer solstice celebrations. On the programme, music, dancing, delicious food, and fireworks. It was a great pleasure to be with you once again to keep up with Portuguese news. Feel free to subscribe, share to support my work, and like the video or the podcast. If you have any comments or ideas, don't hesitate to send me an email using the address in the description. That's all for this week. Thank you very much and see you next time.